saying eating animals is immoral. Therefore, it does matter whether God exists or not.
Yeah, but I don't believe in a God.
I know you don't, but so it matters if God exists or not, because in your worldview...
But like, with all due respect, and it sounds like I'm trying to cut myself out and go home.
No, that's fine. If you need to go, you need to go.
We'll have a conversation again.
You don't want to...
I've been here for 9 hours, and the last thing I want to do is have another debate about religion. But,
all I want to hear is the best argument for God you've heard.
I wouldn't...
No, listen. I want to hear the best argument you've heard.
Yeah, I don't think any of them...
Okay, let me rephrase my question. I want to hear the argument for God you've heard and why you rejected it.
What I'd say, like the ontological argument is a pretty bad one.
Can you just tell me the argument? What is the argument then? What is the premise and what is the conclusion and why you reject it?
Well, okay, so the idea that various ones, one includes like we need a creator. We look at other things like a building, and we know that had a creator. We look at the universe that has a creator. I think that's wrong because
cause and effect.
Cause and effect.
It's linked to it, kind of, yeah. But so in the same way, some people say, okay, we look at a building and say we know that had a creator,
right?
The universe in its intricacy, and we say that must have a creator. And I don't believe in that because we can compare houses to other houses.
That's like the Kalam cosmology.
We have seen other houses being built. We haven't seen universes being built, so we can't say that it applies to the universe.
Do you have to see something for it to exist?
No, I would say that the reason why people can say we can look at a building and look at a house and say that it has a creator, even if we haven't seen it being built, the reason we can say is because we have seen other houses being built.
That's not why we say it.
No, but
why do you say it then?
Well, houses can't build themselves.
Okay. Do you think the universe came by itself?
One second. We don't say houses have been built by human beings because we've seen people build houses. We're saying, well, how could it possibly build itself?
Yeah, because we know that the houses are built by...
No, because we know the properties of what the house is made of has no what's the word? It's not sentient. It has no power to do so. A brick can't lift itself up, and then we know somebody caused that to occur. Yeah. So we know something exists, So we know, for example, let's say, imagine we found a building of a pyramid on Mars. We didn't see anyone build that pyramid on Mars. But what we can say...
Let me
go.
Basically, the Kalam cosmological argument it's like that anything that begins to exist must have a cause.
Yes.
And I don't think that's the case.
Okay.
So name one thing.
So you think the universe...
The universe.
I think the universe didn't begin to exist.
Okay.
To assume that everything within a universe...
All right.
The laws that apply...
Let's rephrase the question.
To say that the things that within the universe must
apply...
Did
the universe...
One second. Let's rephrase the question.
Hang on, I'm not finished. To say that the laws that apply to individual things within a universe must apply to the universe itself. It's fallacious. And I would say...
Let me rephrase my question.
Go back to your point that you said...
No.
You said about... So a pyramid of Mars, you would assume there's a creator. That's because you can look around at other planets and look at the lack of creation. However, with the universe... Let me rephrase my question.
Okay, go for it. Name one thing you know that began to exist without a cause.
I can't know the universe.
Prove it.
No, I can't know.
So you can't know?
No, the burden of proof isn't upon me.
It kind of is.
No, it's not.
I'll tell you why it is. I'll tell you why it is.
Making the claim is on...
Because you're making the claim.
No, I'm not making...
You're making the claim. No. You're making the claim.
He asked you the question, you gave the answer.
What was my question?
That was your claim.
You asked whether or not I believe in a God. I said no.
No.
Hang on, let me finish.
No.
More than 3 seconds. Jesus Christ. So you said...
Oh, Jesus Christ, he believes in God.
He's nearly there.
You said to me...
Just a prophet, though.
Whether or not I believe in the existence of a God, I said no. Do you say that there is no possible chance that a God could exist? I said, I don't know. I don't think it's possible.
What was this?
No. That wasn't my question.
Do you remember the question?
That was one of the first
My
questions.
question...
That was one of the first.
My question was, can you name... I said, can you name anything?
But the burden of proof is on me here.
Well, listen to the question. Listen to the
He asked the question. You gave the
Can you
answer.
name anything that you know of that began to exist that didn't have a cause? No. Does everything in your experience that begins to exist have a cause?
Yeah.
So why then do you ignore your human experience, and automatically assume that the universe doesn't have a cause when you know from your experience anything that begins to exist is necessarily has a cause?
No, ask him if the universe has a cause, because he actually agreed with you.
Does
the universe have a cause?
Let me ask you this in response. Do you not think it's possible for the universe to exist somewhat infinitely, and the Big Bang to exist, and everything to be created? No. Do you not think that's theoretically possible?
In fact,
we can see the results.
The probability.
The Big Bang is
most
real.
of the scientists
the probability is absurd.
And not this cyclic universe, which would apply your proposition. The reason for that is because most scientists actually disagree with anything before this singularity.
Yeah.
The reason for that is because there's no evidence for it.
All right, I'll give you an example. Let me give you an example.
Yeah.
Carbon forms in stars.
Yeah.
Is that random or is there a design behind
I'd
it?
say it's random.
Random. So have you heard of Hoyle, the astrophysicist?
No.
Is it Robert Hoyle? I think it is, isn't it? Scottish astrophysicist. So he made the claim, or his study was that it is random, like you said. When he studied what would need to occur for this to be random, the odds were so preposterous, he actually retracted it and said, you know what? There's intelligent design behind this.
Yeah.
Right. So let me ask you, so an astrophysicist, after studying the probabilities and the necessary conditions for carbon to form in stars, concludes that this is not random, what do you use as evidence to support the idea that carbon forming in stars is indeed random?
Yeah. So I'd say two things. It's that
Have you changed the goalpost
the
here?
reason I say it's random is
We were talking about something that is like the universe, which began to, and like, you did agree that it began to exist, right?
Oh yeah, he did actually.
No,
Well, if I ask you, name one thing that you know began to exist without a cause, and you said the universe, that means the universe began to exist without a cause.
Okay,
It
let us
began to
ask you
exist.
directly.
No, I'd say it's
Do you think the universe always existed, or
Yes.
it began to exist? Okay, what is the evidence?
Yeah,
for
why
it?
do you believe that? No, not even evidence. Why do you believe that?
it's because I don't believe in the idea of.
No, forget that. Why do you believe it's always existed?
It's because I don't believe in causal being. So
Why not?
So because I don't believe in this.
What science supports you in the idea that the universe is always existed?
Yeah. No. So I'd say that, depending on your interpretation, the photons that existed before the Big Bang, the small amount of photons that existed before the Big Bang.
What happened before
So
the Big
the
Bang?
idea of everything came from nothing.
What happened before the Big Bang?
Yeah.
I don't know. So
Well, why are you talking like you know?
Why speculating?
No, but what I'm saying is, you keep pushing the bit of me. It's not on me.
It is.
No, it's
You're the
not.
one
It's
making the
not.
claim.
It is. It is.
You did not make claim for eternal
It is on you.
universe,
No,
so the onus is on you.
The irony is, the reason I believe in an eternal universe is because I don't believe in the idea of a God. And you've asked
But
me
that's
questions
not
to
evidence.
justify it, but the burden of proof
It is like me
Oh,
saying,
wait a second. Why don't you believe in the idea of a God?
But and this is one of the things I was trying to say.
Because he's always a man.
maybe it's right out of the box.
What?
God's always.
We don't believe God
Why
to
is
be
he
a
a man?
What are you on about?
Why is God always a man?
Christianity.
What are you on about?
Bro, take a number, join the queue, you're next.
Take a ticket. No
Religion
problem.
is the false comfort of the unreal.
Yeah. So I mean,
Say it again. Sorry.
He tells you it's okay.
Are you you're a hit and runner, aren't you? You're a hit and runner, aren't you? You're going to make a little churchy comment and then run.
because I would like to.
Rather than stand and hold your position,
you're
you're going to run.
My family. I did philosophy. I do a university.
What religion?
I did A level.
All right, we can see you doing your laces.
Why did you leave it?
So the thing is, this is very. So I would love to sit here, and I believe I can sit here and defend my argument. But it's not why I'm here. I'm not here to talk about God
Hold
and
on.
religion.
Billy,
But you are.
No, but I'm
But you
not.
are.
I'm not.
But you are.
But I'm not.
But you are.
But I'm not.
You are, because you're telling us that you're
It's immoral.
You're saying it's immoral,
Yeah.
and you've conceded if God exists, it's not immoral.
Yeah.
If
So
God
your
told
argument should be: is God exist or not?
But how do you know that's immoral?
Because you're.
My argument should be.
It should be. It should be.
Let me speak. So when I say immoral, I don't believe that. If I don't believe in a God, I can't say that morality objectively exists.
I know. We know that.
Right. So the reason I say immoral is because we all know, regardless of religion, regardless of atheist, agnostic, you have an inner sense of
That's objective morality.
of things feeling right and wrong.
That's objective
right?
morality.
No,
See,
I
I
know,
think the
I know. So when I say immoral, you all know what I'm trying to say. So by saying, oh well, morality is not objective. You know, in order to be objective, there would be a God. And that's all true. However, before you interrupt, I would say when I say immoral, it's a colloquial thing. People know what I.
People disagree on
colloquial immoral, what's that?
It's people know what I mean when I call something immoral.
Bro, this is worse than cop-out.
When you call something immoral, what do you mean?
I think that
something against humanity.
because
believe that's right, I think.
because morality doesn't exist objectively.
That doesn't make any sense.
Because morality,
Sorry, I made a mistake.
I know you did.
It's like something.
Don't worry about it. Relax. Tell me what immoral means.
because
No, what does colloquial immoral mean?
Yeah.
I'm more
Colloquial
intrigued by that.
immorality. What does that mean?
because for a subjectivist, morality can't exist. right?
Yes.
You're not one of them, are you?
Objectively speaking.
You're not a subjectivist.
Are you a solipsist? Are you a solipsist?
You're a subjectivist.
Yeah.
Why telling people?
Then you can't say.
So why did he even use that word?
Let me answer the question you've just asked.
Why does he use that word if he's a subjectivist?
But he's a solipsist. He doesn't know anything beyond his own existence.
I think I had enough
let
of
me
this.
answer this question.
Let's go eat some burgers.
Let me answer this question, and this question.
Let's go eat.
Without interruption. So what I would say is, a solipsist and a subjectivist cannot argue from objective morality. So what immoral and moral is what's called a buhara thing, right? Which is merely just saying what you like and what you don't like.
So it's like a good feel-good factor.
Hang on, right?
As long as the feel-good factor is moral.
Hang on.
Seriously?
So, because there is no objective basis, all morality is for a subjectivist is, at the end of the day, emotions, right?
Well, we know that.
And all I think morals are for an supposedly.
So you're not rational, you're irrational.
Let me finish. All I think that morals are for a theist is also emotion, because I think that the idea, the premise of a god, that where you get your objective morals from a god, an all-knowing, all-loving moral deity, that's based on the subjective premise that deity exists. And I don't agree. I'm not saying it doesn't exist. I'm saying I don't agree with the arguments for. So,
well, you haven't given an argument for that you've refuted.
I'm still not finished. I did. I gave
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
I did.
You speculated a few things.
I said
That's not an argument.
You didn't tell us why they're wrong.
Let me finish. I said I don't agree with the idea of contingency because I think you can have infinite regress. Secondly, I don't agree with the Paley's watch argument where it looks very complex, therefore must have a design.
All right, how about this argument?
But hang on.
Let me give you an argument that you can't respond to.
Hang on. So you asked me questions, I responded to them, and then you criticised me for not responding to them. I reiterated them. But on the specific question that you've just asked me recently, why I say the word immoral when I don't believe morality even exists, it seems silly, and I'm sure you all, being most of you, I assume, religious, will shake your heads, and I understand. But from my perspective, at least, please get to the point. Consider from my perspective, when I'm trying to tell you something that I feel, portray a message, say that something is, it feels bad, or we shouldn't do this. There's no way to say that without using the word immoral. And I don't believe morality and immorality exist. It's just the reason I say colloquially is because people know what I mean. Whether you're religious, whether you're atheist, whether you're agnostic.
Are you saying you can't find another substitute word for moral and
I
immoral?
probably could, but it's
what would it be?
easier, isn't it?
Wrong, right and wrong. It's wrong to eat animals.
I think wrong is the word wrong is.
Why don't you say wrong? People understand what's wrong.
No, because I think wrong and immoral are equivocal, really.
So why do you say wrong then? It's easy to write.
Exactly. In fact, it's got
I think
less letters as well.
Immoral is more provocative. It makes people come.
See, this acts like you have a moral standard, which you don't have.
No, it's true. Yeah.
So you're saying something's immoral to your standard, which you don't have.
Yeah.
You're being deceptive.
So yeah, I agree.
All right, done.
The reason I'm being deceptive is because I want, the idea of
because you want more people to provoke as well.
No, so I'm not looking to annoy people. I hope you're not saying that. I feel
No, not to annoy.
No.
When you deceive someone deliberately, yes, then that is wrong.
I wouldn't say I'm trying to.
It's immoral even.
I'm not trying to say.
Because he understands wrong and right.
I'm not trying. I wouldn't say.
Well, he can't even understand wrong or right because he has no standard.
I wouldn't say it's.
By the way, is deception wrong?
I would say it's deception.
No, it's deception.
No, but he has no standard.
I wouldn't say it's deception.
Do you have a standard of right and wrong?
But is deception right or wrong?
I wouldn't say it's deception.
No, but if it was deception,
I'd say it's wrong.
Is it wrong?
I'd say it's wrong.
Okay.
The reason I wouldn't.
What about lying? Is lying wrong?
Hang on. The reason I would say it's not deception is because
But he has no standard.
Most people have an idea of what morality is, religious or not, right?
I think most people will understand right and wrong is wrong.
So whether you being religious will
Exactly.
look at non-religious people and go, well, that's not
Why are
really
you
morality.
promoting only the
Wait.
religious
It's very important that you hear me out all at once, otherwise you'll get confused. So you will look at people that aren't religious and go, well, they don't have a base of morality, and that's true. But when I say immoral, people know what I mean. You know what I mean. You know what I'm criticising you of. You know what I'm criticising Jewish people of. You know what I'm criticising.
No.
Atheists
Here's
of.
what I know.
You know why.
Here's what I know as a solipsist that you are.
Yeah.
You have no standard of right and wrong.
No.
So you're in no position to say anything is right or
What do you
wrong.
mean by a standard?
A standard that you can measure things against.
Hold on, did you just say no to right and wrong even?
Yeah.
Well, no, I think.
Well, you did.
Yeah.
Then why are you worried about killing animals then?
Look, as a solipsist,
Not right or
he
wrong.
doesn't even know beyond his own existence anything else.
No, I think, look, if you don't have even the standard of right and wrong,
You
then
can't
what's
tell
the
people.
point of that?
When we say, okay, so the words
What is the
right,
point
the
of
words right and wrong for me, as a subjectivist, as a solipsist, don't mean anything.
We know that.
Right? So when you say you,
So why are you
when
using them?
When you criticise me of not having a
Let-
basis,
let me-
hang on, let me finish. Not criticising me for not having a basis of it. My basis of it is fundamentally, and it sounds quite weak because it is, it's my emotion.
We know that. We know that. We know
And
that.
equally,
We know that.
I look at you and I think if you could introspectively be honest with me, and instead of roll your eyes and laugh, which is quite condescending, but be honest with me, if you weren't religious,
No, I disagreed with you.
Actually, you're using your intellect.
I disagree
You're
with
using
you.
rationality. It's not just emotions.
let me finish.
Okay?
Right?
Let me ask you this. Do you consider killing someone is wrong?
Yes.
Why?
Okay?
I don't know, and that's the problem.
Hold on, he
But I
just,
can't know.
he just said it's
But-
wrong.
He said it's wrong. No.
He has no compass of right
He
and
said
wrong.
it's wrong.
so
He said it's wrong, and when asked why he says it's wrong, he said don't know.
So as I was saying,
I think let's end this.
We're done. We're done.
Billy,
We're done. Billy.
I think you're hungry. You need some B12.
I feel that.
You've been here 9 hours.
Slightly unfair. I feel that's slightly unfair.
No, I think
Do
it's
you not
not.
think so? So from my
It's
perspective,
not going to get easy for you.
can you not see from my perspective, as someone that doesn't believe in a God, and
Hamza
doesn't
is still in
let
first
me
gear.
finish, please, for more than 3 seconds. For more than 3 seconds.
Yeah, go on.
I haven't spoken to an atheist today, you see, so I'm hungry.
So, do you not think that from my perspective, if I don't believe in the arguments for God, whether or not the
You don't have a perspective.
hang on, whether or not from your perspective they are strong or weak, from my perspective,
As a solipsist, you have no perspective.
of course you do.
No,
There's
you
nothing
don't.
wrong for you. There's nothing right
You
for
have
you.
a perspective.
Why be an
if you
activist?
can
As a
perceive-
solipsist, as you said you are,
a solipsist perceives
Solipsist.
they have a perspective.
no, you can't believe in anything beyond your own existence.
You still have perspective though.
Wait.
No, but anything else you can't be sure about.
You believe me exists?
Well, I wouldn't
Don't do
say-
it, don't do it, don't do
I
it.
wouldn't say he objectively does, but
I don't objectively exist.
No, I don't
Do you think animals exist?
Not objectively, no.
Okay, so what's the problem with killing them?
Why you're an animal activist?
So what's the problem
that
with
doesn't
killing them then? What's the problem with eating something that might not exist?
I think it's.
It's not going to help. Billy.
No, I think it's because.
You're
Please,
digging
please,
yourself.
Because it's
Don't do
they
it.
may
Let's
exist.
leave it there.
They may exist.
Yeah.
So on the chance that animals do exist, don't eat them.
So the reason I'm a solipsist, the reason I wouldn't say that you objectively exist, is because when we dream, we often think, sometimes we know we're
We're not in a
sometimes-
dream, come on.
But hang on. But when we dream, we are sometimes convinced that these things are real.
Yeah, in
right?
a dream. That's why it's called a dream.
No. But a solipsist says that, solipsist, I'm not necessarily.
I think you're not in
maybe I'm
touch with
maybe
the
I'm
reality.
Billy, I think just let it go.
Maybe I'm not. Maybe.
I think just let it go,
Billy,
dude.
let's
Maybe
leave it
I-
here.
Billy, I'll tell you what I'll do. Are you here every week?
Yeah.
All right, I'm not. I come once a month. Yeah? I promise to have a nice sit-down conversation with you.
Yeah. Interesting.
No cameras.
But yeah.
No, with cameras.
But
With cameras.
finally-
This has to be on camera.
But finally.
Over some food that exists.
I'll bring some chairs that might exist or not. I'm not sure.
But finally, if we can dream and we feel like these things are real in a dream, not in all dreams, but in some dreams we do think.
Yeah,
that
but
these things
now
are
you're
real.
confusing dreams with reality.
There's a difference
Hang on.
between-
You have
hang
lost
on,
touch
hang
with
on,
reality
hang
already.
Hang on.
Yeah, let's go for it.
If we think that these things are real, is that enough to say that they are?
Say it again, sorry.
The difference is you wake up.
But who's to say that we're not going to wake up now?
No, because
So when you dream, do you not?
So you think this could be a dream?
Could be. I wouldn't say that it is. I wouldn't say that
That's
it
what
is.
you're saying
But I would say.
Billy,
let's
please.
leave it there,
Let's leave it there. Let's part as
I would
friends.
say, okay.
You
Let's part
seem
as
like a
friends.
nice guy.
We'll see you again.
You know, we don't want to overpower you.
Well, I do think it's consistent.
Take care,
to say
mate.
that
I don't think it's consistent.
considering we don't know.
So in conclusion, you think it's wrong, by no standard, to eat animals that may not exist?
So, what I would say in response is the idea of right and wrong obviously don't exist. So I use a moral to provoke conversation.
Well, immorality doesn't exist to you either.
No, which is what it just.
So, yeah,
what I
exactly.
just said. So what I'm saying, I use it to provoke conversation.
No, but provoking. If that said it is wrong, I would still have the same conversation with you.
Yeah, I know.
People would get the
Right,
same
right,
meaning.
right, wrong,
but
moral,
the thing
immoral.
is, even right and
I'm
wrong
using-
doesn't exist.
No, so but you're saying something is immoral or wrong when you have no standard to measure it against whether it's right or wrong. You've got no measure. And
They
the
don't
point is,
exist.
these animals might not even exist.
So immorality
Too much
doesn't
Avatar.
exist. Animals don't exist. The thing is, you know, Billy,
Billy, we'll have the
first
conversation.
rule of protesting is what you're protesting against should at least exist.
Look, you know with me, yeah? Yeah, I know. You know with me, I take a presupposition, I take your position, I look at your presuppositions, and then I'm going to drill you into them. So he had to see, he doesn't even know, because he's a solipsist. So he doesn't even know if I exist. So if he doesn't know if I exist, objectively, then he doesn't know if animals exist, objectively. Therefore, these simulated animals that we're eating may not be real. So what's the problem? And he doesn't even have a standard of right and wrong.
When you remove God from
He doesn't
the
even believe in
equation,
right or wrong.
That's what you end up with.
That's what, when we speak with vegans, you have to go on the roots.
No, but you see what I did? See what I did to him straight away? Just straight away, if God exists, is it a problem? No.
Go and pray Makhluk, inshallah. Just
Yeah, inshallah.
Give your mic.
Give me who's all these mics? That was a lovely little comment. Sorry I hijacked it, but I had to take it to levels.